Okay, I'm going to put a faux finish on this door. It's going to be basically painted with a glaze around the trim. Step one is to clean the door. I take the hardware off, then mask around the windows, if there are windows. Mask it off pretty tight and keep you some sharp edges. I use this when I want to tear it, so it gives you a nice clean edge. I can't hold the camera and work at the same time, so I'm just going to show you the steps on what to do, but I won't be able to really show you exactly how I do it, but I'll try to explain. Okay, I've cleaned the door. I've masked off the windows. I've masked off the hinges, and now we're ready to paint. Okay, I've painted the door. I used Sherwin-Williams Resilience latex satin, verdant green. This is all latex paint. Then I use this for a glaze. Same thing, I'm using the same stuff. Resilience satin paint, latex paint, and I have thinned it with latex paint extender, which created the glaze that I just basically brushed on and then wiped off with a dry cloth, and used a wet cloth if I needed to do any touch-ups or anything like that. So this is all using Sherwin-Williams Resilience outdoor exterior paint, satin sheen, and it's all latex, no oil, and this should hold up outside. It's exterior paint, and this is for doors. So there we go. Sherwin-Williams Resilience. That's only for the paint, which you do not use this in the paint. You just put it on the door. The glaze is what you thin. Now you can use that as a paint additive a little bit, but you thin your glaze pretty thin. You use about 4 parts extender to 1 part paint. So you put quite a bit of paint extender in the glaze. It still dries pretty quick, so you have to. Anyway, we're coming along. Okay, after going around the edges of the window frames with a darker glaze, I thinned the glaze a little more. As you can see, got it all over my fingers. And I went over the entire door I brushed it on one section at a time and then wiped it off with a dry rag. Went around the whole door, one section at a time. I would just brush it on. I would take like that center section, brush on some stained, which I thinned even more. I wanted a lighter coat, or I should say the customer wanted a lighter coat on the entire door. And so I just brushed it on, and then I wiped it off pretty quickly with a dry rag. This stuff does dry pretty quick, so you have to wipe it quickly. We're going to put a light coat of a whitewash on it, then we're done. All these are exterior paints, Sherwin-Williams Resilience exterior satin, and I'm using a bronze for the glaze, and I'm using a just straight white as the sort of milk wash coat. And that's it. Okay, this is the paint on the door. I put it on pretty much full strength. Maybe put a little water and a little Floetrol in it. Sherwin-Williams Verdant. It's latex satin. This is the glaze. Resilient, same thing. Latex satin. Enduring bronze. Thinned it 4 parts of this extender to 1 part paint for the glaze. If I whitewash, this will be the whitewash, which it's just resilience, plain white. I will also thin it with this. All of these are latex satin exterior paints. Okay, now I've put a whitewash. Using the same technique, brush it on, wipe it off with a slightly damp rag. And that's the whitewash. You just brush it on one section at a time, then wipe it off. And use your own technique to get the effect you want. And I just used Resilience white paint, thinned, real thin, very thin, and just brushed it on, wiped it off, and you just achieve whatever desired effect you want. Okay, so now I'm going to put, or I have put, 1 coat of Old Masters latex water base spar urethane on the outside of this door. I'm going to put 2, maybe 3 coats. I slightly thinned this with a little bit of water, not much. Just a little water in there. Stirred it up real good. Don't shake it. Stir it up real good. And I'm going to put 2 or 3 coats on the door. And then we'll be done. It's almost the same color, isn't it? Anyway, this is good stuff. It's good stuff for exteriors. It's usually what's on the faux finished furniture you see in like these antique looking furnitures that have the clear coat on it. It's usually a water base clear coat. And this is also, of course, UV protection. It's a little reflective in direct sunlight. Has a little different look than the oil urethanes, but I think they hold up better from what I've seen. I'm not too sold on the oil urethanes on exterior doors. Plus, this is much easier to reapply. If you need another coat, you just put it on. You don't have to sand or strip and go through all that. You just paint another coat on when you need a coat. Anyway, there you go. 1 coat, Old Masters spar urethane, water base. All right, well, this is pretty much the finished product.